You'll notice he no longer suffers delusions of humanity.
Affirmative.
Now listen here, you little bitch. I'm gonna ask you some real simple questions, and I want some real simple answers.
Has editing your content become a burden, or you just don't have the skill set?
I wish I could focus on content production, but post-editing takes so much time and effort.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We'll look no further. Here at Asylum 99 Studios, I can help you create professional quality videos that will be sure to captivate viewers. With my creativity and skill, along with your content, assets, and ideas, I can bring your vision into the simulation. I offer the following services: video clipping and organization, content creation, VFX, SFX, and motion graphics, intro and outro assets. Requests may be taken upon further discussion. So if you're a content creator, short on time because you're out living your best life, or you wish you could focus all your energy into producing content, reach out to Asylum 99 Studios today.
What are you waiting for?
What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for?
Don't settle for mediocre videos. Hire me as your freelance video editor and create videos that meet your standards. Asylum 99 Studios. Release your creativity.
What's going on, Ken folks? We're here for part 2 of Operation Golden Bull. Now, in the first Operation Golden Bull, we focused on the federal involvement, or not the federal involvement, but the federal child trafficking racket. But we're going to talk about an angle that not many people think about. Something that I've talked about in a 3-part series I put out that included social media founders and executives. Now, if you watch that video, then you know where we're getting ready to go. So sit back, put your seatbelt on, and let's get to it.
176 pages of graphic and disturbing grand jury transcripts released today are from Jeffrey Epstein's 2008 criminal case. The files were under seal for 16 years until now, and they reveal that prosecutors heard graphic testimony about how Epstein sexually abused and exploited underage girls at his Florida home. Now, the Florida judge who released the files wrote in part, quote, "The details in the record will be outrageous to decent people." And the testimony taken by the grand jury concerns activity ranging from grossly unacceptable to rape. All of the conduct at issue is sexually deviant, disgusting, and criminal. That judge says these important documents are being made available to the public to ensure transparency and to give closure to the victims.
I have one question out of that previous statement he made, where he said crimes ranging from, I think he said like lewd acts to great, right? So my question is, if we're getting Epstein for, sexual crimes against minors, which is what I thought it was, where's all that gray coming from? Some of that gray I've covered before. You have to go back and watch my original 3 Tomahawk Rage rooms. That's an angle that nobody's been looking at. We're talking about Operation Golden Bull. Some of these kids are giving themselves to the Golden Bull. Because if you remember, Epstein was also messing with minors still, but he was messing with minors who are in the age range of emancipation and consent laws, the 16 and your 17-year-olds. One of them worked on his Lolita Express. You see what I'm saying? So that's just an angle that nobody's looking at. Because I think accountability needs to be spread out because they're able to suppress all of this by pinpointing it all to Epstein, so that way nobody else branches out their vision to see what else is going on besides the hardcore stuff he was doing. And to be clear, I don't think he's dead anyway. My words from when they first claimed he perished was, he's too rich to just be dead. They cut the cameras off. I believe they walked him out the back door and then put a body double in there. Let's continue.
We always talked about the Achilles heel of the deep state is child molestation. That's the currency. Child molestation, child abuse, child murder, child trafficking, organ harvesting from children. That this is the currencies they traffic in, not just illicit drugs and weapons or stolen art. Those are all secondary to their main currency, children.
This is a thing, right, in Thailand where different people will buy a spot in a red room with crypto so they can't be traced. A red room in Thailand is a room where a child is murdered every 3 weeks and they are sacrificed. And the person that pays with the crypto gets to choose how that kid is murdered.
For 100 years.
Now, I want y'all to pay attention to something that I'm about to do here. They told you about those red rooms. And you know who told you about them? Hollywood. Now, in Hollywood, they're not going to use kids. That would set off far too many red flags and alarm bells. They showed you that through the movie series Hostel. They go around collecting people who are on vacation for the movie, but in this case, you know, we're talking about minors. For vacation. And rich people pay to have them tortured and watched. I told y'all time and time again, it's called disclosure. They're going to show you what they doing to you. Every single thing. They was talking about organ harvesting and all of that stuff. Soylent Green is people. Let's continue.
Western intelligence agencies, themselves infiltrated by secret societies out of Britain, used sex operatives to compromise targets who weren't just agents of foreign governments, but who were in outside power structures that this group didn't control, but was seeking to get control. Cecil Rhodes wrote about this in several books on his plan for world government. He had the main British Empire behind him and supporting him. They set up roundtable groups across the world, like the Council on Foreign Relations in 1921 in New York, to take over our governments, using payoffs, using sex operatives, and more. They found quickly that if you tried to set somebody up or blackmail them over cheating on their wife, it wouldn't work.
Just a quick interruption. Because we all know where this is going. If you know, you putting together, you connecting the dots and whatnot. Why wouldn't a man, or in 2024, somebody cheat on their spouse and then care about it? For this example, we're going to use a man because it just don't sound right when you use women. You can call me biased, you can call me whatever. It's not going to work because that's your nature anyway. So they need something that's against your nature, and that is to do unspeakable things to minors. Okay? That's why it don't work. I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear that, but that's the flat out truth. It's not uncommon for dudes to be banging a bunch of women. That's just what it is. And for you women, all you feminists in the back, I can hear you cackling. You have a womb, ma'am. It's time to start acting like it. But we're going to stay on topic, okay? We're talking about why they chose to use children instead of somebody just cheating on their wife. Sorry for the interruption. Let's continue.
You could induce them to have sex with an underage person or a child. You had them buy the short hairs for the rest of their lives. Jeffrey Epstein was recruited by these systems in New York City more than 30 years ago to begin recruiting little girls as a pimp on an industrial scale. He reportedly had recruited hundreds and hundreds and hundreds a year. That's thousands over the years to go out and then set up other people.
Now, let's talk about this. Is going to be a hard thing to talk about. Okay? You don't really see people on the internet talking about this. The only person I've ever seen talk about this would be Coach Greg Adams. That's it. Now, I guess I'm going to be the second because I don't want to see nobody else talking about it. What do you mean Jeffrey Epstein was going around just recruiting young women?
Now, listen here, you little bitch. I'm gonna ask you some real simple questions, and I want some real simple answers.
Because we're gonna assume he wasn't recruiting anything under 16. Right? Because you're not gonna just catch really young girls away from their families. Unless they just in some real dysfunctional stuff. He targeted all these, to quote my elders back in the day, mainly the elder women, these fast-ass young girls who were out running the streets, most likely because their mammies wasn't at home doing their job. So he's going around recruiting hundreds and hundreds of girls a year to use against foreign diplomats and people in high places that they want to control. Can you see the strategic reason why old Epstein over here would do that? Because upon the time that we eventually got his ass, he would fall back on consent and emancipation laws. Because I guarantee you, if they were to drag his weekend at Bernie's corpse out of wherever they put him, I don't think he's dead. Remember that. He would tell you. They agreed to it. I guarantee you he would. Especially since he would be on the stand trying to save his own ass. I guarantee you he would say they agreed to it. You know why? Because there are young girls out here right now. Right now. I did a video on it. There was a whole thing on Capitol Hill. We watched the whole C-SPAN hearing on it. Young girls out here selling themselves. Prostitution.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Okay? So the whole point of this video is actually to say, where are you parents at? Your daughter can't go sell her body for Epstein if you're doing your job.
Bring them under his control.
Epstein owns a sprawling ranch in the state, complete with airplane hangar and landing strip.
Now, what were we just saying about how he recruited young girls? All you got to do is take a middle high school age girl. When I say middle high school, 16, 17 and up, the gray area for women. But you bring a young girl around that ranch, that compound right there. What did Donald Trump say that y'all got mad at him for saying? They'll let you grab him by the thing, right? It wouldn't surprise me if you go down that list of all the women he recruited, that they were probably more than likely from broken homes. Or they were just fast and their parents didn't care. And couldn't keep tabs on them and just let them run free and wild. Just keep that in mind. Let's continue.
General says some of the abuse took place.
This is a very large residence in a very isolated part of New Mexico.
There was clearly a cover-up by the FBI at the highest levels because, again, he was going out on a mass scale, on an industrial scale, recruiting sometimes hundreds of young women and girls a month to frame people, to dial them in, to compromise them. And that's just phase one. Then, as people get deeper into the cult, they start getting them into religious rituals. They become more and more dark, more and more satanic. Then the children get younger. And through that process...
I tell you, no fucking kiss!
Bam! So, let's go back to that gray area of women and don't come in here trying to act like it ain't you. Especially, I'm talking to the sisters. Because I know a lot of brothers are ignorant to this. I'm talking to the sisters because y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all know. So don't come here and try to play with Rondo. No. Because I ain't hearing it. They start you out in the gray zone because it's the gray zone because society will tell you... Oh, pause. I have children. Okay? Daughters specifically. So don't misconstrue what I'm getting ready to say because I know how you people do. So you start off in the gray zone Society will tell you you can't mess with those girls. When historically, back in the 800 stuff, they were getting married, because I got records of my grandmothers. A lot of them were not at the ages y'all claim they needed to be. We're going to leave that alone. You start them, and you'll tell them, don't touch them, but then you'll tell the girls that are in that gray area that they can do whatever they want and be sexually liberated. You see the kind of chaos that y'all just sowed right there?
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Because a lot of dudes, I can't put a number on it, but the dudes that get caught up in this stuff, those are the dudes without self-control. Okay? Dudes that are crazy enough to be caught with a young woman knowing what's going to happen to your tail. So you deserve what's coming to you, right? But then they drag you down to where we all know you ain't supposed to be. But you got away in the gray zone, so you think you're gonna get away down here. Then they come up to you one day and they drop the file right there on the desk and be like, "Yeah, we got you now, ninja. Now get up there on the UN and do what the hell we told you."
Hey, you see something? You know you done fucked up, right?
No! I said no!
It's basically trauma-based mind control of the children and the adults. The cult finds out who is truly twisted and dark and who will carry out certain operations no matter how horrible. So you want somebody to stand up against the globalists. You want somebody to fight the New World Order. Well, if you're looking for that, I'm your man.
So there you got it, Ken folks. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that there's more than one angle when it talks to Operation Golden Bull, which is Operation Golden Bull is federal child trafficking. Okay? There's more than one angle. Everybody took Epstein and they just ran with it. He was the end all be all. It's all Epstein. Even though that other dude from Virgin Airlines got caught. And he got brushed up under the rug. I don't think they had to delete him. I think he just disappeared. Behind the ice wall, maybe. I don't know. But you gotta be critically thinking. Okay? I know it's an uncomfortable topic to talk about. Before I turn the camera on, I'm like, you really about to talk about this again? You know you're putting yourself at risk, right? But guess what? It needs to be said because who do I like to put the blame with? You already know I'm coming for you, don't you? Raggedy fucking parents. How many, most of y'all probably won't ever see this video, but how many of them are out there that let their child just run the streets and their child end up in a sex trafficking operation? And it's all because they were inactive parents and they just let their kids do whatever they want. Parents that let children do whatever they want are more dangerous than the monsters we're out here talking about because they provide the prey for these predators. Stop providing them prey. And with that said, we're going to get up out of here.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy. Go on.
I am a human being. I exist. Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Delusions. Send the word.